Hey guys, so this video is a response to Amazing Phil's The Kool Kat. If you haven't already watched it, I will link to it here, so just click there. Yes, I'm gonna just do kind of like a little childhood thing. I'm just gonna go chronologically and tell you a few things and stories and stuff, I guess. When I was really little, I really loved writing poetry and short stories and songs, and I was horrible at it. Here's a few examples from, the early days. Jojo's prom date. Fuzzy penguin slipper, will you go to the prom with me? Jojo asked her favorite fuzzy slipper, who said never, and Jojo was left without a prom date. This is from when I learned that, prose is under, that's other jurisdiction, and I didn't have to actually do the ABAB thing. It's called poetry. The loud shark roared with silence, while the sunset growled behind the hill. This one's my personal favorite. It's called The Best Poem Ever. It says at the top, the best poem ever, and then underneath that it's a horse drawn with the words pony. It's a paint. I was breed specific. I'll read you one of my shorter short stories because some of them got really long and bad. This one is called Habelo Different. It's by me, and then it's like created by Kirklandoy, which is my publishing and editing company that I made up. The intro is, in the clouds far, far away lived hobologans, tiny creatures whose towns make the clouds. That is how our story begins. It's like chapter 1. Once upon a time, there was a hobologan. He was different. All hobologans were supposed to always be happy, but she was sad. Her name was Sina. Sina meant she. Sina, his mother called. Sina had gotten lost the night before when she stayed out until 5 o'clock. He would not take any chances. Her meaning Sina's mother, name was Cookie Nappa. She loved cookies. That is why she was named Cookie Nappa. Cookie Nappa meant cookie. Anyway, back to the story. They did not speak our same language. They spoke Dickapong. To them, Haminaha means happy. Dickapong is, everyone had their little secret language that they made up. That's just a kid thing. This is a thing that people do. I developed mine really thoroughly, enough that I could actually use it and speak it fluently. This is when I first started developing it. There's so much, it's ridiculous. I spoke it all the time, and there was this kid who always forced me to do his homework. His name was Malik, but anyway, when I gave it to him, I would put a note on it saying oh, make sure you do this, because I couldn't do it with my computer or whatever, but in English, but then above that, in my little Dickapong language thing, it would say you suck, or I hate you, or go away, or you're stupid. I'm a rebel. There was this other kid that I hated. His name was Joshua, and this other kid that I hated, Samuel, such a loving child. They hated each other almost as much as I hated them. So I shipped them really hard. And this one year we had to write a story about Christmas. I wrote, Joshua Claus is coming to school. Essentially, it is about Joshua Claus falling in love with Samuel and taking him to the North Pole. Oh god. And that was the first shipping fan fiction I ever wrote. I was 8 and already shipping things. One year for Christmas, my parents gave me this spell, and they put it in my stocking, and they were like, oh, look, Santa gave you a bell. And I still believed in Santa when I was 9 years old. I was like, oh, cool. And they were and there was a little note on it in Santa's handwriting, which kind of looked exactly like my mom's. Strangely. It said, oh, Merry Christmas. This bell is from my magical sleigh, and it'll grant your wish. I always wished to be British, and I wished for a tarantula. When I was little, I hated daddy long legs, which is still a thing, and I loved spiders, which is also still a thing. And in 3rd grade, I read this book about vampires and tarantulas. Well, sort of. It's called Cirque du Freak, and the tarantula is kind of if not for the tarantula, the story wouldn't have happened. But anyway, I really fell in love with tarantulas. In 5th grade, I went to Balboa Park every day for a week as a 5th grade field trip thing. I got to hold a tarantula, and it was amazing. It was the best day of my life. I don't know, it was really cool. My counselor that was leading the group, he told us this story when he was telling us not to wear hoop earrings, because we aren't 9, and why were people wearing hoop earrings? But anyway, he was telling the story about how when he was little, his little sister used to wear like a really, really, really big ring. And he started, one day, he started yanking it through her ear, like splitting her ear open. And she didn't stop wearing them. She would let her ear heal back up and then get it re-pierced and then wear hoops again. And he would keep pulling it through her ear. Why would you do something like that? I mean, what kind of child, what kind of parent lets their kid keep getting their ear pierced is really the question here. That was a traumatic story for me. But anyway, back to the whole tarantula thing. There was this one year that I went up on a trip to like Yosemite, almost all the way up to Canada. Stay with me here. It's a weird roundabout story, but it comes back to the point. And we were going up and we stopped at like the Bubbleberry Inn, famous for its stupid bubbleberry pie that I swear was made out of like rotten cranberries and other rotten fruit. But just the worst pie I've ever had. We kept going on the way back. We weren't going to San Francisco, but there was a signing by my favorite author, Darren Shan, and I was dying to go. And it was about 45 minutes out of the way, but I convinced my parents to take me. So we went and I met Darren Shan, and I sat next to this kid named Jack, and we fangirled about how we didn't know anyone who knew what Cirque du Freak was until we like went there, and it was great. And we did not realize emails and internet was a thing and should have like swapped numbers or something. I don't even know. But anyway, he was cool. Jack, if you're watching this, you should message me and we should talk again. You're probably not watching this. I played a lot of sports when I was little, but my main one and my like longest lasting one, I guess, is volleyball. I don't know if I was any good. I mean, it's not like I ever won any medals. I started playing volleyball when I was 4 years old. My mom taught me and everything, and I started playing on a team in like a club thing when I was 6. And originally they put me on a little kid team. They're like, this kid's not gonna play volleyball, you know, whatever. But a year later, I went to start playing on the 11s team. When I was about 8, I started playing at UCSD in like the rec class with all the adults and stuff, beach volleyball. Yeah. I played there on Saturdays, almost every Saturday, unless like something came up and I couldn't go, but usually I would go play. And I was still doing the other thing as well, the other club. But when I was 10 years old, I was like really done with that club. I was like, you guys, no. I started playing for my school team. And the team was good, but the people on the team were, I guess, just horrible people. And the coach was kind of mean and whatever. And so I quit that. And in 7th grade, I only played on my beach volleyball thing at UCSD. But in 8th grade, I found out about this club called Starlings, which is amazing, and I fell in love with it. And I didn't play that much, because by the end of 9th grade, I just didn't have time anymore. So I made some really, really good friends, and then I had to quit. And I kept playing my beach on Saturdays up until maybe 2.5 years ago. And I went occasionally after that, but recently, well, not really recently, like a few months ago, the coach of that team retired. His name was Gil, and I've known him since I started playing, but he still got his other job, but, you know, whatever. It was sad. He left, and he had been really, I don't know, loose, I guess. He didn't make anyone pay if they didn't want to, and didn't make, like, normally if you don't come for like 3 weeks in a row, they kick you out of the recreational classes there, but he didn't uphold that since he didn't even make you pay for the class. But when he retired, we got a new coach, and now he makes you pay, and he makes you sign up, and he closes the class when it gets too big, and yeah, so I can't play there anymore. This video is long enough, so I think I'm gonna close it up. Here I have this book called If Questions for the Game of Life. I'm gonna start every week having like a thing. The if question of the week is, if you could uninvent one thing in the world so that it would no longer exist, what would you choose? Harlem Shake. The Harlem Shake. So what would you guys uninvent? Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!
Subscribe. You know you want to. Click the creature. Click the creature and subscribe. It's a very good idea. You could never make the mistake. Click the creature. Subscribe.